another episode of the Pop Shock Podcast. This is episode 6. Once again, we are joined by the lovely Christopher Jameson.
Thank you.
That's the only word. That's the only word to describe you on this webcam.
A gorgeous man.
I can see that you just was it actually a decision just to keep the same shitty webcam, or did you just not?
I totally forgot. I totally forgot. But do you know what? It's my personality on video.
It's part of the charm.
Slow.
100%.
A wee bit late to the party. That's what it is.
We are also joined by my for your consideration co-host Courtney.
Ooh.
We just hi Courtney.
Hi.
We just had an episode on the screen.
As usual, Christopher, you get the lovely Christopher Jameson. I'm just me.
You're just Courtney.
You know, I just sit here, cook his dinner, do his washing.
That's lovely, man.
But yeah, we just before that interruption, we just did an episode of this, on the Scream movies. So that will be up this week at some point. And today on Pop Shop Podcast, on this episode, we're going to do Doctor Strange predictions because Doctor Strange is out later in the week. And next week, we're going to come back again and do our review and our thoughts and see what predictions we got right and where we think the MCU is going to go after this point. And we'll also talk about the Moon Knight finale because that's also next week.
That's it.
Same day, right?
No, Moon Knight's on Wednesday and Doctor Strange is on Thursday.
Thursday.
But they're apart.
I think it's the same day some places because I've seen something
I think
on social media that both of them come out the same day.
Well, I know that, see how Philippines got Spider-Man late, they're getting Doctor Strange early, which is quite good, because that's fair. Right, but first we're going to go through some news stories that have happened this week. Because the first kind of major one, it's actually kind of a combination. So there's two major directors on two major films that have left the project recently. The first one, talking about the MCU, the first one is John Watts leaving the Fantastic Four film.
Do we know as to why?
So this Deadline article kind of reported on it. So it says here that John Watts is withdrawn as the director from the Fantastic Four movie, the reinvention of the Marvel Comics series at Marvel Studios and Disney. He just came off the success of directing Spider-Man No Way Home, which was such a high-grossing film, etc. Both Watts and Marvel confirmed his exit and said that it is an amicable one. Kevin Feige said, collaborating with John on Spider-Man films has been a true pleasure. We were looking forward to continuing our work with him to bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU, but understand and are supportive of his reasons for stepping away. We are optimistic that we will have the opportunity to work together again at some point down the road. John Watts said, making 3 Spider-Man films was an incredible and life-changing experience for me. I'm eternally grateful to have been a part of the MCU for 7 years. I'm hopeful that we'll work together again, and I can't wait to see the amazing vision for Fantastic Four brought to life.
I think that's just
that's kind of the
maybe
statement
like
speech of them.
a director's just kind of saying goodbye. Like, he doesn't want to be involved in the Marvel.
He's okay. I hope that it's not like family reasons.
Yeah, because it does seem kind of strange. Like, after directing such a successful trilogy, like.
Although with that statement, that kind of gives me the feeling of like, listen, I've done a whole bunch of.
I've had enough.
Yes. We're gonna go have a wee break. Come back.
There was also a point, I don't think it was actually in this statement, but there was somebody else that said that, it says that he wants to take a break from superheroes after completing the Spider-Man trilogy.
So maybe he has like something else in the pipeline.
Yeah, he has like his own projects that he wants to
work on. Because when was the first one? Like 2017? So that's like
Homecoming, I think so. 17, I think.
5 years?
That's quite a long time. Big part of your life, I guess, yeah.
Did he just direct it or did he write it as well, or was it?
I think he maybe co-wrote it, I think.
But maybe it's like still like he's probably I don't really know anything about him as a backstory, but
the only thing that he made, the only major thing that he made before Spider-Man was that cop car movie with Kevin Bacon, which we've not seen. But it's with 2 kids that steal a cop car.
I've seen it. But maybe this has definitely got his money. Like if he could go for
that's it. He can do whatever he wants off the back of this, the success of Spider-Man. Like he can make anything he wants now. So I guess that's a big part of it.
And there's the risk of getting into that funk, getting into that superhero kind of way of working, and maybe this is for the best. Maybe he's going to take a break. He's going to come back. He's going to have a whole new spin on something.
Yeah,
and it could work out better.
What's interesting though is who's going to take over. Do you know what I mean?
Could be Sam Raimi. You never know.
Well, Sam Raimi has been saying how it's been a blast to be back directing a superhero film again, but I can see them doing Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. And him directing.
Really?
Yeah.
Him directing?
I think that will happen.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who replaces John Watts. But that wasn't the only director leaving a big project recently. Justin Lin, who has directed, I think, like at least 4 or 5 of the Fast movies, has left Fast 10.
He's stepping away from the family.
He's stepping away from the family, yes.
Wow.
It's interesting because there's only 2 movies left. It's just they're just doing 11 movies.
They're just doing 11. Fuck. Jesus.
Not that many, do you know what I mean? But they're doing 11 movies, so this is the 10th. So there's only 2 left, so it's an interesting time for him to step away. This one, I feel like something must have happened, like a fallout or something.
Is there no tensions with him? Like, I know Vin Diesel's probably quite a strong...
Well,
has there not been tensions
Diesel,
before?
like I think they've already said that The Rock won't be in them again.
Oh, but that's because of Tyrese Gibson, though.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
I can imagine he hasn't helped.
Tyrese is like a very
Hothead.
argumentative. Like Tyrese Gibson was so against the Hobbs and Shaw, which I mean, with how bad it is, okay. But he was so against the Hobbs and Shaw thing because
he was like, you're betraying.
He's seen that as like stepping away from the family and gaining all their success, which is just stupid.
That makes me
That's
flying cars like can't
yeah, like he was so against that, so I think he's became quite difficult to work with.
I feel like he always has been.
He probably has, man.
So I know that he's caused quite a lot of issues.
So
and then
do you think Justin Lin's just sick of being the dad? Like splitting up The Rock and Vin Diesel, The Rock, and Justin Lin's just like, do you know what? Deal with yourself.
I mean, I don't know, but I get the kind of vibe that quite a lot of people are sick of Tyrese Gibson, like within the cast.
Yeah, well, he was in Morbius, so.
Does he still have the same role in all the films? To be honest, I've not watched them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the same character through them all.
Roman.
No, but does he have the most like screen time? Because I know some people get cut if they're like hard.
Yeah.
So I know that one thing was, is it Fast 6 when The Rock and Vin Diesel were fighting? They had it. They both had it in their contracts that they have to punch each other the same amount of times. Honestly, I'm not kidding. The choreographer was
physical violence.
It was a nightmare because I had to like count every punch and be like, "Oh shit, he punched him twice earlier," and this is like another like 5 minutes out of the fight, so we need to put another 2 punches in for the other character. Like, so he tried to coordinate that. Apparently, it was a nightmare. And then they were like, "Oh, we have to make a cut here, but he has to give 2 punches, and we have to cut too fast." Like, it was a pure nightmare on set, and then to edit it and stuff, all because of their egos.
Man, children.
Crazy,
imagine editing it, because like that sometimes you would cut punches out.
I know.
And then you're like, "Oh, by the way, you added another."
Go back and redo that, so it's all.
Wait.
Honestly, it's pathetic.
Fucking hell. That's Hollywood for you, man.
I wonder if it's just all that Justin Lin's just sick of, because, as I said, it's weird that a filmmaker's made like 4 or 5 movies in the series and then just walks away when there's only 2 movies left.
And then, I mean, when you have like a cast that are famously so chill, like with like Ludacris and like John Cena and stuff, like they are really chill people, like Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize Theron, like they're super relaxed, like easy to work with, famously easy to work with people, so but it just got too much.
Not everybody like that.
No.
Obviously. But anyway, they're still going to make it. They're still going to make Fast 10. That was the other interesting thing about this. It was the day after it went into production. So it went into production.
He was like, "I've done.
Vin Diesel.
He said to them, "If you fight 1 more time," and then he's left.
Vin Diesel shared the fact that Brie Larson's going to be in this one, and also Jason Momoa, which we know about. He was sharing, also hyping that stuff on Twitter, and then he put up a thing saying, "Oh, we've entered production today," or whatever, Fast X. And then literally a day later, it came out that Justin Lin had left the production. So, yeah.
Just tossed down the script and was like, "No more!"
I'd like to be in a fly in the wall just to see why that happened, like what actually went down.
Who would have I'm guessing it's Vin Diesel has like the final say and stuff, or is it?
Well, he's an executive producer, but I mean, it is who makes the movies? Is it Paramount or is it Universal? I think it's Universal.
Vin Diesel.
But like, I think the executives there probably have a big say as well. But yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
But you know what?
I'm not that invested in them.
Well, I'm going to say, like,
I like them. I do. They're like my wee guilty pleasure.
I enjoy these movies. I love the Fast movies, but I think they're the kind of movies that if you brought in someone else and got them to make a similar action, fast-paced film,
Wouldn't be
they're
that
not going to be
different.
like,
They're not
oh,
gonna
that was creatively different for Fast 9. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter that much.
It's a slight difference.
But yeah,
it'd be nice to see somebody take the reins of the last 2 fucking movies. Is that what it is in contract? You've only got 10 movies. Is that how it started?
no, I don't think it ever was a contract. I think they just kept making them and they just kept getting bigger. But to be fair, I always say that like the 2 cinematic universes that have actually worked are Marvel and Fast and Furious.
Fast, yeah.
Like DC can't do it. The monster, the King Kong Godzilla movies can't do it.
No.
The Dark Universe with the Mummy and all that crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Like
Useless.
none of the rest of them can hack it. But I think J Mac, a big part of it is Marvel and the Fast movies. They weren't planned out for the start. They made another one and then made another one and then it evolved into a series. And I think that's the difference. I think when you set out to make it, I think that's when it's.
Do you think we'll see a flying car in this one?
We did in the last one. They went into space. Remember?
The way space, did they know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mean
Where
like
the
actual
fuck did they
race,
go?
like
Yeah,
cars
yeah,
flying?
it's like cars flying.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what's next.
We see Tokyo. That's when I stopped watching it because it's completely like.
That's like the third one.
Exactly.
Funny enough, I think that was the first one that Justin Lin directed. I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think other talented filmmakers have made them. Like I'm sure F. Gary Gray made one. Him at Dunstable Compton.
Alright.
And James Wan, who did Aquaman,
James
one.
Wan, yeah,
So there's other talented like directors that have worked on a series. I'm sure they could just bring one of them in, like if they're not busy. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
So they decide to be busy or not, though. I think.
Yeah, but I think the most major thing is just the fact that the day after the film started. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on to the next thing. Do you want to do this one? Cool.
Yeah. So another thing that happened in the news this week is it was confirmed that Ana de Armas is to star in a spin-off movie of John Wick, which has been titled Ballerina. So, from my understanding, is she's technically going to be female John Wick. So, it says in the article by CinemaCon, it says that she will play a young assassin who seeks revenge against the people who killed her family.
That's original.
Very similar.
I mean, I like
Very.
a female-led assassin movie.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Atomic Blonde, Peppermint.
Peppermint.
Peppermint, yeah.
These are all really good examples.
Yeah.
And I like Ana de Armas. She kind of showed that she could do the kind of actiony thing in James Bond.
Well, that's what I was just going
going
to
to
say.
say,
The biggest thing that annoyed me about No Time to Die was that she wasn't in it for long enough.
Yeah, she
I
was
really
good.
enjoyed the one scene she was in, and I was like, I want to see more for that character.
And then my question is are they going to tie it in? And then John Wick lives in the same universe as James Bond. That would be fun. I mean, they won't. It's an
I don't think he's
opportunity.
played the same character for James Bond.
I know. I'm just saying, in case they
But-
do.
I do think that, talk about cinematic universes, I think that they will cross over down the line. I think they will obviously come into each other's films.
See? Maybe.
Or John Wick or James Bond?
No, John Wick. John Wick will come in. The other master
Daniel
will
Craig
be a
just
John Wick
comes in.
movie or the other way
It sounded like you're not with you, but that's why I ran with it.
around.
That's actually, I kind of like that. I mean, I loved the John Wick movies, so
Yeah,
bring
me
it
too.
on.
Love the John Wick movie.
If
So-
it's-
So the ballerina thing is it the third one? You've got Angelica Houston, who's like sitting in the opera house,
Yeah.
and you've got the ballerinas on stage,
Yeah.
and they've got all the tattoos, and whenever
Oh,
they like.
yeah.
Whenever they like
yeah.
fall, they're like feet are bloody and stuff. Whenever they fall, she's like, "Get back up!"
Get
like,
on.
martial
Yeah.
on them and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe
100%.
Ana de Armas' character is one of them.
100%. Yeah.
Or she's part of that. She grew up in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it was orphans,
Kinda
and all
like-
that, wasn't it?
I think
Black
so.
Widow, Red Sparrow.
Yeah, well, Black Widow did
feeling.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Red Sparrow, Jesus,
Yeah.
yeah. What's with Russian ballet dancer with that?
Listen, you've not done ballet, I have. I can see why they kind of want to kill people after it.
Oh well, that's
But
good.
yeah,
Well, has
I'll
that
see
just
that.
been announced, or is
Yeah,
that...
it's just been announced. I think this week, a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Again, I'm a really big fan of her. I think she can do way more than what she's been given so far.
I'm assuming that it's not started production yet because John Wick 4's been made now, and
That's what I was going to say. Is it the Chad?
Well, I mean, if it's a spin-off, then
is
they
it
don't
Chad
have
that's
to, like,
directing it?
well, I was going to say this has just been announced, so I wonder if either Ana de Armas is going to appear in John Wick 4 and that's going to introduce her, and then
Oh,
this will be her
nice.
own movie, or if that will just be like an origin movie and then she'll go on to be in a John Wick film,
Yeah.
or maybe John Wick will show up in that movie. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
you know he's at least going to be
listen,
mentioned. I mean,
more-
they could take it back to when like the hit was out on him, and she hears about it that way, or yeah.
But
like,
what happened in John Wick 3? I can't actually remember. Were they fighting in like a museum or something at the
You're
end?
not in the desert.
he goes into the desert and they chop a bit of his finger off for some reason, and then
Halle
that
Berry's
gets him
somehow
free
in
of the mad coin thing for the second one. I can't remember.
Oh
how it
yeah,
ends.
the blood thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, second one's the best one.
Think so?
I love the second one because of dogs.
Is that not the third one? I that's the third one with Halle Berry.
The third one's
That
with
is-
Halle Berry.
That's
The
it.
first one's the best with William Dafoe. He's all in
I
it.
do
I
like
like
it.
them all. I like them all.
I loved him.
I do. I like.
I don't think that's a bad one.
No, not a bad one.
But yeah, I think the most exciting thing like about this is the choreography. Like John Wick movies, fight choreography is so good, and I think that quick scene in Bond kind of showed that she would have the chops to do that. So
She's up for doing that kind of stuff.
I think it'll be it's a good fit. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, next news story.
I'll go on the bombshell of how this is evidently going to be happening.
What's this?
The Batman 2.
I mean, we all knew it was coming.
We all knew it was coming.
The first one was a solid film and it made a decent amount of money.
I know, but you're always
I know.
scared in case they don't follow it through. So I'm glad that it's confirmed that they are.
Yeah.
He did. Did Matt Reeves know in the beginning say it was going to be a trilogy and that's all he's doing?
I don't know if that was official, but I think he did. I think he spoke about the idea of doing a trilogy. I don't know if it's definitive, but
Because you've all seen it obviously. What do you think about like the Joker element of it being like the next villain? Do you think that's going to be him?
Right, I think.
I was against it when I saw that.
I think it's
clip.
not obvious to do the Joker as a second villain because they already did that and no one.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing his version of Joker.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I like it is because I am buzzing off the fact that Barry Keoghan is the Joker.
Was he in trouble lately? Recently?
He got arrested recently.
Got arrested in
But
Ireland.
just for being drunk to sort of laying loud. He didn't do an Ezra Miller attack.
No, he was
No,
protesting.
no.
It was to do with protesting as well.
Ah, right,
He
okay.
protests a lot. So he's been arrested a few times.
He's Irish, isn't
from
He's
protesting.
going to get his point.
Shout out to James. He's not here.
To defend him. Oh man.
He's away at a protest. That's why he's not here.
But I mean, it's I'm happy that it's going again. I don't like it's. I'm never going to say I'm going to get sick of Batman movies, but I feel like
I'd like to see them.
it's
Well,
almost done.
they kind of are. I was going to say I'd like to see them exploring characters outside of Batman.
Yeah.
But they're doing the Batgirl movie, and they are doing other stuff. So we might
Because
see that.
as I know something I heard like they're cutting the whole Justice League universe because of that Ezra Miller.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
they're
know if
pretty
that
much.
was,
Well, it's
I
not
hope
just
so.
because of that, but they're pretty much restarting it. Well, that's the
Just
rumor.
cut it.
The
Right.
rumor is that they're basically restarting. But yeah, like what? Why not? Like, what are you really saving? Like, I know that.
Gal Gadot. That would be all that you would miss.
I know that. Well, the rumor is that Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa will remain.
Oh, that's good.
But
Oh really?
yeah, but the new Superman will be Supergirl, who's in the Flash movie. The new Batman will be Michael Keaton, which is insane because I love Michael Keaton, but
But
is
he's
he going to plan another 10 years with a guy that's pushing 70? I don't know. Just
pushing
I-
70. Oh,
Oh yeah, what,
70's to do, like,
he's in his 60s anyway.
Let's find out.
I mean, totally insulted the guy.
insulted him.
I think though the most exciting part of this news is the fact that Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz have confirmed to be returning,
to come in the back.
as is Matt Reeves to direct. Also, the rumour I heard was 2024, so 2 years' time.
That's no bad.
Did I totally insult Michael Keaton? What age is he?
He is 70.
Yeah!
Is he? Oh, he's looking.
There you go, right? He looks grand. Like
He looks good.
he's Batman. Like I've nothing against 7-year-old Batman.
Look at the back jacket.
But all I'm saying is, if you're wanting to build a
Yeah.
cinematic universe, do you want to start with somebody that's 70 years old? Do you know what I mean?
Depends
Yes.
on the Batman.
I'll take if Michael Keaton wants to make another 10 Batman films and he's going to be fit to do it, then
One every year.
100% I'll see them. I'm not saying that.
Depends on the Batman. Depends on.
Well,
They're not going to play him like Christian Bale.
well, I'm hoping that they'll do Batman Beyond.
Beyond,
Like, he'll
aye.
become.
Yeah.
They could introduce
become
Terry
old.
McGinnis character, and he is his mentor. Like that'd be cool.
I hope that is what happens. Like this is like because in the first Batman Beyond TV series, I don't know if it was, he was still Batman, and he went out and he got injured or something. He was using a gun, and then it started him to retire.
Yeah.
So he could do that thing, like Michael Keaton's like, "Oh, I'm going to one more time," and then he fucks up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, kind of realizes his own
demise,
Yeah.
his limitations.
Up to it anymore.
So that could happen. But I'm glad that they're coming back. I mean, I think at the moment Warner Brothers are just letting Matt Reeves take the reins. I don't think it's going to be connected to anything.
Well, that's the
think
thing.
it's gonna be his own.
I think the directors of these movies have a better idea of what's going on than the executives at Warner Bros. do.
I thought you were going to say than we do. I was like, well,
Oh, well,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, we have no idea what's going on.
Like, Matt Reeves obviously has, as you're saying, Chris, he probably has an idea for a trilogy in his head. He might even have an idea for, like, stuff beyond that, like Superman and, I don't know, other stuff. Like, you don't know what he's wanting to build this universe to be, but I don't think Warner Bros. Do either, because they don't agree like this because the first one made a bunch of money. They don't know what they're doing with their universe because Ezra Miller's getting constantly arrested, and Amber Heard just had that massive trial, and everybody hates her now. And like, there's just so much going on that's just kind of.
I hated her before it was cool.
Because it's not reached $1 billion, is it? That's the sad thing.
I think it has it not? Did it not pass $1 billion?
Hold on, let me check.
I feel like it has. But I mean, the first thing you said when we came out, the first one was that you wanted to see a sequel.
Yeah, I could have sat and watched another 3-hour film of a sequel of that, like there and then.
Like right after.
Yeah.
my arse was sore, man.
I hope.
To stand up.
What kind of cinema do you go to?
I know you don't.
I was in the cheap seats in the back. I was like, oh fuck, wasn't in a lounge or anything.
But.
No, you need your recliner seat, your nachos, your ice blast.
Do you think
popcorn to last you?
It's expensive.
Set the scene,
it is expensive. Do you think 2024 is a bit of a long wait though?
No.
Are you okay with him taking our time to get it right?
Yeah, you don't want to rush it.
I'm fine with that, but when I told you, I heard the rumours 2023, and you were like, oh, that's ages.
It is. And as someone that wanted to watch the film straight after she watched the first one, no, I'm an impatient spoiled brat and I want it now. But realistically, no, you want them to take their time, get it right, make sure it's solid.
I also have a theory. Again, I'm going to sound like I'm insulting people here, and I'm not. Robert Pattinson is in better shape than me, right? So I'm not saying that the guy's in bad shape. But I think I can see them doing a thing throughout the movies that he's going to get more and more buff and more like Batman.
Really?
I think because that's the thing. A lot of people slagged. Like, there's a shot in the new Batman movie where he's pushing that table, and you see his back, and somebody was comparing it to Joaquin Phoenix's back in the Joker, being he's just as skinny as him, and I'm like, that's first of all, that's bullshit, right? And second of all, this is year one Batman. Like, he's only been doing it for a couple of years. It takes time to become Ben Affleck Batman, to become that tree of a person.
Because he's not got the superpowers. He's not being bit by something or injected or inhaled something that's going to make him be like and like enormous. Like, he is just a rich guy. So.
I know that Christian Bale was kind of built for the start, right? But I know that I guess every Batman he's got his own version of going to the mountains and training with Liam Neeson, right? But I quite like the idea though that like by the time Batman gets to like his 30s when he's like in his prime or whatever, I like the idea that he's cut because of the stuff he's done on the streets of Gotham, not because he went to a personal trainer beforehand. I know, but like I like the idea of him like building as he goes and like building on his car and his body and his gadgets and his suit. Like it.
No, I hope Donatrix gets a cameo in this, and the big Don comes in and he's been personal training him.
Who's Donatrix?
He's a very famous like Hollywood person.
But like, I'm kind of excited. I want to kind of go in a different direction with him. Like, I really like the whole Seven Zodiac.
I don't think they'll drop that. I think that'll be the tone for these movies. I hope.
Just seeing Batman do the bleep test.
No, but see, even like, it is like you don't really see him in any other Batman doing detective shit, like when he had the eyeball
that's
stuff.
What I said too.
Stuff.
Rewatching it recently, you also can appreciate how many dialogue scenes there are with him just in the costume, which I really like.
Yes.
Because other movies don't have that. It's like Batman's in his costume, we have to have action. Whereas this movie's like Batman in his costume, we just go to investigate something and speak to someone. Like,
because he's not going to do those things not in costume.
Yeah, because he's Batman.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Hopefully they come back to Glasgow. Get to see him.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that as well. Like, I wonder if we'll see more of Glasgow in the second one, because I think again, Matt Reeves, when he was doing press for the first one, he was asked about filming Glasgow, and he was like, "Oh, Glasgow made a brilliant backdrop for our Gotham," and he kind of hinted at the fact that they would continue to use at least British kind of
architecture. Yeah.
because it's Gothic and it's.
And
I mean,
New
we've got
York's too
great.
expensive to shoot in.
It's also cheaper to
New
do
York,
here. So,
We've got great like dark alley, junky alleys to film in. So
exactly, aye.
it's
Just
like
need
the
to clear the
best way.
junkies out first.
You want a shithole? Glasgow's your place to come, right?
Oh god, I cheered when I saw like see when I saw parts of it. I was like,
Aw,
yes,
good
Glasgow.
boy.
I booed. I went boo.
Oh no, I was proud. I
You're not
got
the
a
type of
tear
person that
man.
makes a noise in the cinema, okay?
No,
I'm not having you advertised that way.
I hate people that make noise in the cinema.
We
Oh,
were seeing Jersey Boys the other night, and there was even like audience members that were like interacting with Jersey Boys, and I was like, "Shut up!"
Oh, the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. How was it?
It
Anyway?
was so
That was
good. It was so good. The boys done impeccably well. The boy that played Frankie Valli was unreal.
Yeah, you done all the high bits.
Oh, we're going to really turn that bit there.
I'm sorry. Apologies for making everyone's ears
There's
bleed
going
there.
to be like a flash warning that comes up before you do that.
Shut it off. Right, let's move on to the final news story, and we're all just kind of going to chip in on this one because this kind of refers to something that me and Chris were speaking about last week. We did some video game predictions in 2022, and Chris, you asked me what the chances are of someone buying Warner Bros. And I said, I really don't know. I've not even considered that. And guess what? You called it. Someone
I was fucking
is
right.
actually going to buy Warner Bros.
Totally random guess.
One of the most interesting parts of that, now this is just a rumour, so there's nothing confirmed, but the most interesting part of it to me is that Xbox are interested and Sony are interested, obviously, but EA are interested.
Oh, I really hope EA doesn't fucking touch
Well,
it.
that's the other thing. I don't mind if Sony buy it, I don't mind if Xbox buy it, but the idea of EA owning the Batman games.
I'm not a video game person, so why not?
So EA are a scummy company who treat their staff like shit,
And
with
their
no
games.
creativity, originality, release broken games
They
at
do the
full
sport
price.
games, right?
They also
FIFA
release
and
the same.
basketball and-
They also release the same sport game every year, and I did another £60
Without
on
any
it.
changes to it. Aye.
What else is bad about EA? Microtransactions. They love to.
They introduced it, did they not?
I don't know.
I don't want to
Definitely
blame them.
popularised it.
But
So,
yeah.
like, see when you buy a game, you spent. Say you bought it full price, you spent £60 on it, and then you open it up and they're like, "Here, do you want a costume? It's another
Do you want some coins?
Yeah,
Do you want
I
a-
know what microtransaction.
Right, yeah, so they're famous for that. So they're scum.
They're scumbags.
Okay. Carry on.
Unless you want to hire me for a job, in which case they're the best company ever.
You know, like you turn cold fast.
I have no integrity.
So does that mean they'll be in connection with? They must be connected to Warner Bros. At some they'll be at arm's length. They'll be telling them what to build or anything.
So,
or do they have complete
Right,
control over the
that
whole
I was kind of thinking about today. I think if AMD was to buy this company, they would almost leave them alone because they made the Lord of the Rings games and those were good. They made the Batman games and those were good. So if Sony or Xbox were to buy them, I don't know because I don't actually work in one of these companies, but I assume that the corporations would leave them to kind of govern themselves and they would just have the final say.
See if Microsoft's been spending quite lately.
Exactly.
I'm guessing Microsoft is Xbox, so like
Microsoft, exactly.
they will be.
They've been dishing out recently, but that also makes me think. I know that they're huge, right? I know that they're a multi-billion-dollar company, but the more they buy, you actually said this last week, I think, because the Activision thing, it's like, can they afford to buy? Like,
And they're debt.
they can probably afford to buy somebody like Warner Bros. Games, but EA, they could buy EA. I feel like that's too big a company. I don't see them affording that.
It's too big of a shit to
on the back
take.
of, and also I think it's more at risk because
I was going to say that it's quite
because
risky.
of bad publicity. And honestly, in my eyes, I could see Sony being the best fit because the Batman games have always kind of like COD went between the two, like in terms of exclusive stuff. Like Arkham Asylum, I remember Xbox had like exclusive DLC. Or costumes or some shit, combat arenas or something. And then by the time Arkham Knight came out, the last Arkham game, that was like on the PS4 stage, E3. That was shown at the PlayStation stage. And then a couple of years later, when PSVR came out, they also did the Arkham VR game, the Batman Arkham game. So I definitely think there's more of a relationship there, which is it's more likely to be Sony.
I'm a total idiot. I was thinking, what has Sony done? Like, and I was thinking, fucking PS4, like PlayStation. I was like, what games have they actually produced? Like, what did they actually do?
What games have Sony produced?
I know when you mentioned that, I was like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
See that big movie previously Uncharted based on the successful franchise? That's one.
Fucking idiot, man.
I'm so happy he's here.
Oh well, no, I think it like Sony. I'm happy if Sony take it. I don't want EA.
No, I'm the same. I'd be happy for EA to take it because
Me too.
If Microsoft take it, it will probably become like not on Sony stuff anymore. It'll be like exclusive to Microsoft PC. But I've got a PC, so I don't care. But in saying that, the Arkham games have notoriously been really shit on PC. Like whenever an Arkham game comes out, it doesn't work for me.
The PC port is shite. Yeah.
So
would this include the fighting game that's basically Mortal Kombat, but
Injustice?
No,
that's made by the guys that make Mortal Kombat, so that's separate.
Because I like that game.
Isn't it? Aye, that's NetherRealm.
Well, but would that be? Would they have the same?
I can see NetherRealm getting bought by somebody as well, though.
But would that would be like technically NetherRealm might be in the same contract as whoever buys Warner Brothers? Well, they'll be in contact with them. But
what I wonder is if this was to happen. Would like Injustice 3, which I think is coming into, I think we've actually had confirmation of
that is coming.
Would that release on either Xbox only or PlayStation only? Do you know what I mean? Would that affect the exclusivity thing? I don't know.
Why do we have these lines, man? We should all just come together and unify.
I agree. Everything should be available on everything. 100%. I know that there's reasons for exclusive games, but
bastards. The reasons they're all cunts. That's the reason. Fucking money grabbing bastards.
But I think it just speaks to the whole idea. Like it's what I've been talking about for weeks. Is this upcoming war of acquisition that it's coming? It's all these companies, all your favorite games and franchises. They're going to be owned by one another at some point.
It's a war of acquisition.
I mean, I'm quite scared. Like
it's a war. I know that. I know that things are bad in the world right now, right?
You want to tell the poor kids that have lost all their pets that?
But listen, imagine, right? No, I will get cancelled. I'm not going to go into that.
That's not.
I was going to say, imagine a bomb was dropped in your house and then you can't play Batman on PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? Like, as if things weren't bad enough.
The servers are down.
I might not. I'll see a risk of when I'm editing this. The servers are down. Jesus Christ, Chrissy.
Oh, that was bad!
That's not funny.
No, let's stop. So,
please.
There's other jokes out in my head, but I'm like, no, it's bad. So, yes, they're basically, so it's a rumour, right? It's a rumour from a guy called Imran Khan who works for Fanbyte. He is basically claiming that Warner Brothers are shopping themselves around and looking to get bought. They also, another thing with Sony, they're also doing that new Harry Potter game that's coming out, the Hogwarts game.
Yeah,
and that was shown at a State of Play recently, which is like a Sony conference. So that was shown at a Sony live stream recently. I don't know. I think all the signs are pointing towards Sony, to be honest.
Is this all because, like, why do you think they're selling it? Is it because like they've got the new management at Warner Brothers? I don't know if they're connected or anything.
Yeah, it could be that. But I think it might also be the fact that they know that this acquisition war's coming, and see if they just get in the now and get under somebody's kind of wing, then they don't need to worry about it and they can just keep making their games. I don't know. I'm speculating, but so the actual tweet from this guy Imran Khan, he says I couldn't get enough confirmation to actually write a decent post about it, but hearing a decent bit of chatter this week about Warner Bros. Discovery chopping their game development studios around. Interesting parties include EA, Take-Two, who own Grand Theft Auto, Microsoft, Sony, Tencent. I think Tencent and Take-Two are kind of the same, but I'm not 100% on that. NetEase and PUBG Corporation. Warner Bros. Studios wants to sell its studios and license IP, supposedly. That's not good news, because if it was just the IP, then they're also keeping the same team. Because the team that developed the games just now are Rocksteady, who are based in somewhere in
Like
North England.
Sanford. Oh, they are for the
I don't
Sanford.
know, they're English. It's like Newcastle or somewhere.
All right.
Why, I man?
Why am I? I may not be Newcastle, but it's somewhere in North
Why
England
am
anyway. So if they're saying though that they want to sell the studios and the IP, that's worrying. Does that
Smell
mean
like
you're going to
goods.
get like an American company making the Batman games, or I don't know? Just
That is.
What's wrong with that?
They're
No,
putting it in the
Purely for
whole-
like an industry point of view?
no,
Or like,
not. I'm not saying like any American company would be bad. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just meaning the fact. Just don't take it away from Rocksteady. Just let Rocksteady keep making it because they know how to make a Batman game.
So does that mean that whatever if they sell that, say Rockstar, they get fired from doing the games?
I don't know. I
And they
don't
lose
know.
the
I
jobs?
guess we would need to wait and see. I mean, sadly, it seems to be the case that whenever a company consolidates into another company, people get fired. Like it
It's
happens
brutal.
every other time. So I don't see why it would be different here. Which is
Yeah.
shit because these people have worked hard and they've made some great games and just get sacked at the end of it. Like it sucks. But I don't know. Honestly, it's a bit early to say because that's also just a rumor. But aye, if it happens, and I think it is going to happen because, as I said, every franchise is going to get scooped up. I would prefer it to be either Sony or Microsoft, as long as it's not EA.
Because
Um,
even I've
If I had
just
to
been
put
the
money on it,
website.
I'd say Sony because of all the previous relationship that they've had.
the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
They've got like a lot of games. They've got like a lot of Lego stuff.
Oh yeah. Warner Bros. On all the Lego shit as well. Yeah.
So it's not like a small IP.
No.
It's going to be
It's going to be a meaty deal. Like it'll be billions, I reckon.
even the Hitman series. Now they've got a lot
Aye.
of fucking stuff.
And here the Hitman guys, they're doing a James Bond game.
Do you think it would be like what they done with LucasArts? Like when Disney bought over that, they just cut everything that's in production, or do you think they would just continue it?
No, Jesus, I hope
Do you
not.
think that's too much to do?
Here, see, to be honest, if EA buy them, then maybe.
Oh, that's going to happen. If he does,
If EA buy them, then probably. There's that kind of company.
They were that. Oh, we need to be in control of everything.
I don't see EA having the financial.
I was going to say the funds
because
they're quite.
I know EA are a
stopped the-
huge company, right? But Microsoft and Sony and Microsoft are astronomically bigger. And I think it's going to be they two that are going to be throwing some serious cash at this because, like you're saying, Chris, there's so many franchises that it's going to be worth a lot in the future. Like it's going to be a big investment for them. So,
And why would they pass it to someone smaller than them?
what do you mean?
Well, like
What,
EA is considerably smaller than Warner Brothers Studios, so why would they pass it to someone smaller than them?
No, they're not. EA are bigger than Warner Bros.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
He's quite.
No, EA is maybe not bigger than Warner Bros. Studios, like the films and all that, but then the gaming
The gaming
department,
division.
EA are bigger.
Oh, really?
Oh, aye, EA are one of the biggest non like Sony or Microsoft.
I thought they just done sports games.
No, they're huge.
Sadly, they're bigger than
Battlefront
what they are.
Battlefield and Hunters. Right, that is anything else on that because I think that's us done with the news.
That's
If you
us.
want to move on.
We've teared that to shreds.
So next thing on the agenda is what we've been watching, playing, reading, listening to this week. Chris,
I'm happy to go first.
What have you been watching?
I have completed and up to date with Moonlight. So now I kind of understand what you're talking about last week, Dan. Like you kind of love it or hate it, like towards the end.
That
messed you up.
That was tough.
What did you think?
My brain nearly fell at my ear. I mean, I'm still very much into it, but it was work.
Yeah,
It was work.
I really enjoyed the twist. I think, like I said last week, I think for Marvel it was really ballsy.
Yeah.
It's not something that's like never been done in movies, but it's something that I didn't really expect
very rarely done in work.
in the MCU.
I never thought I was getting Shuttered Island. Like I never
Yeah.
thought that. I was like, well, Leo must come out one of these doors or something and say hello. Like he must be there. But like I could see what you mean. Like you could either jump in it and go, oh, like fuck off, or you actually jump in and enjoy it.
Like
I
my
think it's gonna
dad's
split
really
people.
fell out with it. He's starting to struggle
Is
with
he?
it. Yeah.
Is it but I might have a point here. We didn't see Moonlight. We saw Isaac and we saw Stephen and Mark, but we never actually saw him in the suit.
So
Yeah.
up to date. Did you see the last episode?
The
big hippo
Chap-
on the boat and all that, and
the hippo with the boat. That was a beautiful episode. That was like, oh, hippo, you're all right. You're
and
in my boat.
Stephen fell off the side.
Aye, and then he
turned
kind
his
of.
hand.
So what
does
does that mean?
I'm wondering that. Does that mean that personality is just gone now? Like, is Stephen just finished? Is he just Mark now? Well, obviously, I think we all know that the third personality is going to
coming in.
Yeah.
because
that was that
sarcophagus in the mental home. So
And he was like, "Don't touch that."
yeah.
So I think he's going to be bad.
And then there's a part in like the second episode or third episode when Stephen wakes up in the body and there's all these dead guys about, and he looks in the mirror and goes, "Mark, what did you do?" Mark goes, "That wasn't me." So obviously there is a third party involved.
Well, then who is?
Because I'm sure there'll be another costume. I mean, I do like Mark's costume.
Yeah, I like the suit.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I like Stephen's costume.
What, the suit and tie?
That's one I meant. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting mixed up.
Oh, do you like that one? Oh, I love the classic. I love the.
I like that too, I think Stephen's costume is a wee bit different.
But I think he did have he's had other costumes in the comics, so they could definitely use another design. I think.
See, that's really.
I really like Stephen's character though. Like, I hope he's not gone.
I know.
Like, because when he just went and fell off, I was like, oh shit, maybe the hippo can save him. But
I also liked how you seen like the birth of Stephen, like where he came from.
It was fucking tragic though.
Yeah, it was
that was really dark.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. And then you realise the mum's dead and he's not actually speaking to anybody on the phone when he phones her.
Aye, on the first episode, he's like, "Hi, mum, how you doing?"
He speaks to himself because he's insane. It's pretty dark.
Mate, the amount of times I shout in here, "What?" and you're like, "Nothing, to talk to myself."
Yeah, you were saying Ella, how schizo I'm actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oscar Isaac, I think, he carries it like he's so well equipped as an actor that he can go between the two parts and interact with himself and
read my shopping list. Like
he's
a masterpiece of a man.
What I'm also curious about is where do we go after this, because they've apparently said that Moon Knight's a limited series, so there's not going to be a season 2. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's what they said thus far.
Because he travels the world, doesn't he? So he's not limited to a certain city.
Yeah.
He goes to Egypt.
No, that's the thing. But he came into like the Avengers movies or the next team up movie. I'm sure he will. Like Oscar Isaac's not done in the MCU. I don't think that's the case at all. But I'm just wondering where they'll go next. Maybe they'll leave it for a few years and then he'll just pop up in something. That'd be quite cool. If you kind of almost forgot about him and he turned up, and you were like, "Oh, that's right."
But like, who's like? I kind of forgot who the major baddie is. Like, who is it? Like the other god?
Like, he's kind of Hawk, who's working for that other god, right?
He is, but he's not really a massive threat. You know, he is a big threat, but he's always
with his stick and swings at you and stuff.
The past 2 episodes, he's
like, shut up and sit down.
Shut your tongue.
Gets his skills out. Oh no, I loved it. See the opening with the Bob Dylan song. I was like, all right, I'm in. This is a good wee. I can't remember. It was like Sands or something. It was like Bob Dylan song was on.
That's right, the first episode. But I love that part when you see him in the mental asylum, and obviously there's all the things calling back to what we've seen so far, like the way the room's designed and the crocodile stuff and all that. But the fact that he's got the white sandals on, like in his doctor's costume, I like that.
Well, his costume's white, but the sandals are still brown.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's still the same sandals that he's got on.
See, I was actually quite disappointed when you first saw it. I was like, oh fuck, is it? Is it like a mental hospital? Are we getting this?
Yeah.
But like, so
I kind of knew it wasn't. Like, even though I was enjoying that, I was like, they're going to have a twist here.
I mean, like, because it put my whole reality into question. I was like, well, we are watching comic book characters. Like every comic book movie, a mental asylum.
If someone like it's one of yous in like 15 years time, where you've just watched too many comic books and you're in a mental home and you're like, I can see it, and you're like,
because you don't really question it. You're like, oh, this guy's jumping about with fucking Egyptian gods, and he's got a moon and he's flinging moon batarangs. You kind of see, moonerangs. You kind of see it, and you go, oh, maybe he is insane.
Oh, bless.
What was I going to say about Oscar Isaac? I don't know, just that he's great.
He's in that Spider-Man, so he's not going to be done with Marvel.
That's right, he's in the animated Spider-Man, isn't he? Aye, it's good. It's a good show. I enjoy Ethan Hawke in it. That was the other thing that I was going to say. I think it's fascinating how he already died almost as Mark, and then that's when Khonshu appears and gives him the powers of Midnight, because we've seen that as well. And now he's dying again.
Yeah.
After Ethan Hawke shoots him, he's like in one version of the afterlife, and he's trying to get back to like reality. Yeah, I don't know. I found that quite surprising because when we hadn't seen the origin yet, I kind of knew that was the origin in the comic. I knew that he was going to die, and then that's when they brought him back as Midnight. I thought that's what they were doing when Ethan Hawke shot him. I was like, oh, he's going to die and come back, you know, the way that he did in the comic. But then it was like, oh no, he's already done that. This is the second time that's happening. I found that kind of weird and interesting.
But I mean, I don't really know how far it can. I don't know where he would slot in. I mean, he could be in Doctor Strange. You never know. Never know.
Well, what's it called? When Spider-Man came out, it was the last episode of Hawkeye. So they introduced both Matt Murdock and Kingpin back into the MCU in the same week. So maybe they could do something similar to that. Like, there's nothing, maybe not something directly, but just something
like
that makes you
lining everything up.
Something that makes you go, oh, this is happening at the same time as Midnight. Do you know what I mean? Just a wee thing, like a wee kind of off the cuff half thing, just connect them. Maybe not, but I just feel like
because he's not like a. Well, I was gonna say he does kill people, doesn't he? So he would be kind of like anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in the comics, he is in a group. I can't remember what they're called, but he is in like a group with like Ghost Rider and Punisher and like some of the darker heroes.
Oh, him and Punisher could be a good if they bring back Punisher.
I think Deadpool's in it as well. Like, it's basically all the ones that kill people. Or like it's not the Thunderbolts, but it's.
I don't personally see them making Steven's costume so similar to Deadpool for them to let that lie.
Like Steven's costume similar to Deadpool?
Yeah, well, that's what everyone's saying.
Are they?
Like the mask.
I can kind of see it with the eyes. And
the
stuff,
eyes and the mask.
So like it's all over like the internet. So how similar their costumes are. So I don't see them making that design choice and then just leaving it like that.
So
do you know what I mean? It's going to tie in at some point.
When Deadpool shows up, he's going to be like, "You stole my costume, mate."
Yeah, like yeah, definitely.
Oh,
yeah, it'd be interesting to see them in the same room because he would be like, "Oh, I thought I was crazy," and he's insane. Yeah.
Well.
Because they are quite similar. Like, Moon Knight's just a bit of a more serious Deadpool, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
because he can heal himself.
Deadpool's got multiple personality disorder, and he's got superpowers, and Deadpool's just more funny about it, just more quirky, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's down with the kids, Deadpool. Tells it as it is.
There's definitely going to be like a Mr. Knight and Mr. Poole joke made somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Poole's already a thing in the comic. You might actually have touched on something that already exists.
See?
But you never know. You could go the dark Avengers. Get Punisher in there.
I like it.
Deadpool.
What else, Chris? What else have you been watching?
Nothing. No, that's it.
He's got Midnight.
I caught Midnight. That took about 2 days.
You been listening to any good podcasts? Or?
I actually was listening to. I started watching. The Amazon, the big famous. I can't remember his name.
Jeff Bezos.
No, the bookie's like Dreams. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill this. He's like
the bookie's Dreams.
Neil, somebody. Oh, I'm gonna get shot in the face. What's his name?
Neil Armstrong.
No, he's like the devil or something. That
Neil Patrick Harris.
No, what am I doing? Oh god, hold on. Amazon orders. Let's find this. Sandman.
What?
I bought Sandman.
Neil Gaiman, Sandman.
I bought the audio book of that and I've started listening to that and wow.
They're making a show.
I know, that's exactly why I saw it.
They're making a show. That's the one where I remember I was telling you that, is it Gwendolyn Christie, is it on there for Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
She's playing Satan, right?
The blonde chick, yeah.
Oh, is that this?
She's
playing
Satan.
Yeah. Okay, I'm into that.
Because I don't. What about you? Do you like Sandman? Have you watched it? Have you watched?
No, I've read the first volume years ago. Like when I was first getting into comics, I think I have it somewhere, or maybe I had it digitally.
Let's not try and find anything in this room.
But
the way you say first comic doesn't mean you picked up the second one. It must have never impressed you.
Well, no, honestly, it was just one of the series that, like, I think it was like to say, earlier on, I was like, right, what should I read? And I went on to like Google, and I was like, right, Preacher, Watchmen, you know, all the kind of like first kind of entry points, and one of them was Sandman. So I just kind of bought the first volume of everything, and it's just the one that I've not got around to reading the rest. I did enjoy it, and I kind of know some stuff that happens later on, but I've just not got around to it.
I would recommend
Preacher, if that counts for anything. But
Preacher.
Yeah.
Preacher is good. Preacher is good.
Preacher's really good.
But Preacher again is more tongue in cheek. I think Sandman takes himself way more seriously.
Yeah, his dreams.
But yeah, how's the audiobook? Is it good?
It's really good. I think most of it's done by him himself. Like it's
Alright.
like it's not. I don't think I bought the one that's like a proper comic book one. I think I just bought him narrating
Well,
the
I
comic.
did get. I can't remember if it was a novel first or a comic first, but I know you can get both. You can get either the novel or the comic. Like
Oh, I think I got the novel because it's about
Right.
16 hours.
I guess if it's an audiobook, that's what you want. You want your money's worth, don't you?
You want like a good wee aye. Well, I got it in credit. I forgot I actually bought. I'm on like an audiobook thing, and I have like 23 credits. So I must have had it for a year and forgot I was paying for it. So I need to buy
That sounds about
23 worth of books.
There's a Chris we all know and love.
Money's coming out. How is this? What the fuck?
Where's it going?
Where's my money? I'm scared. Jeff. That's the reason Jeff's fucking rich.
Jeff's having his rocket with all your money.
Exactly. Fucking building Blue Origin, the cunt.
I'm actually really glad you're here this week because when we get to this stage of the podcast, I'm always like, shit, what have we watched? Courtney, what have we watched this week? It's hard,
Would
right?
I lie to you?
Yeah, what new stuff have we watched? So we watched Better Call Saul. We're up to date with that. You haven't seen it?
I haven't, no, but you
Right.
said it's definitely.
All I'm saying is it's amazing, Chris. It's some of the best daylight on there now.
Amazing.
But I'm not going to. I can't really talk about it without giving anything away. So.
No. Oh no.
Is Heisenberg there?
It's emotional. No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, it's emotional.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's intense.
I was a mess.
It's intense.
Does Kim do something that I think she's going to do?
Why? What do you think Kim's going to do?
We were talking about this like last week. Like she might pick up some traits that Jimmy has, kind of thing. But
she's becoming worse than
Jimmy.
She's becoming a badass.
She's becoming worse than Jimmy.
Oh, she's becoming a badass. So it's a good.
Yeah. I'll like this, Kim.
It's entertaining, but it's also self-destructive.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like is Jimmy like? Is he kind of like scared? Like he's seen her going down a path?
He gives her a few looks. That's Bob Odenkirk's so good as an actor.
Oh yeah.
See the way that he just and so they're both amazing. Obviously, everybody in the show is amazing, but see just the way that she'll do something pure cold and it's not a big deal, and he'll just look at her like
subtly, like
what have I done? Like I've pushed this person too far.
And you're kind of like
you can see it all just in his eyes. He doesn't have to say anything. Like
yeah, definitely.
The acting's amazing.
So is that coming out one episode a week?
Yeah, one and this season though. We haven't watched Ozark's also available, but we haven't watched that yet. So we'll maybe watch that and talk about that next week.
Yep.
Is that with Jason Bateman?
Yes.
Yeah.
How is that? Is it great?
Ridiculously good. Yeah.
What is because is it like a kind of horror thing?
No.
That's where I got it from Netflix.
No.
It's honestly, at first, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is like Breaking Bad," but see as it goes, it's not really like that at this point. But he does work for. He's an accountant, and he gets involved with the cartel. He gets involved with laundering money for the cartel, and then he gets in deep, and he has to basically disappear and run away to the Ozarks. So he takes his family. They live in Chicago, and he buggers off to the Ozarks. And then it turns out there's no better. That's full of nutters that are all about money and drugs, and then they all end up involved with the cartel, and it just becomes a big spiderweb, like a big.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But it's really well written, really well acted.
Laura Tinney is ridiculous.
Laura
Linney.
Laura Linney.
And the cat again. Everybody in it's good. There's not a bad actor in it, I don't think.
See, that's so weird that I would never associate Jason Bateman with like a serious role. It's always like kind of comical stuff.
And again, he's wrote and directed some episodes as well.
Because that's what I said as well. I was like, am I going to struggle with this? Am I going to keep expecting him to make a joke? No.
He has the one part that he's not funny, but he'll say certain things that you kind of like. You're like,
yeah, he's the wee bit of relief.
Okay. But it's so inappropriate in the scene that it's kind of like you can't really laugh. You're kind of like, did he just make a joke? Like it's that kind of way. Like
it works really well.
Slight spoilers, right? In the new season, his son, who's like 14, he's now laundering money for the cartel.
Oh
And
no!
there's a scene that he just looks at his wife and goes, "Laundering at 14, wow!" And his wife's like, "Don't be proud of him.
right now.
Don't be proud of that." But like, there's wee
And
moments
like
like
you
that that
have
just
the
break the
same
tension.
reaction that Laura has, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
But there's wee moments like that that just kind of give it a bit of levity, because again, it is a heavy show. It's
You need
intense.
the breaks.
People are assassinated all the time, and it is like intense. So you need that to kind of break it up.
Is it like a normal couple kind of thing, just in like a bad situation and they have to find
Again,
a way out kind of thing?
see how what I'm saying about Saul turning Kim into a bit of a monster? Well, in this, Jason Bateman's the one at the start that's pushing things too far and doing illegal, dodgy shit. And see, by this again, it's the last season. His wife is just as bad. Like, she's doing stuff that's just as dirty and just as messed up.
And I like it.
So, but yeah, they're both incredible shows. I don't know. Is that all we've watched? We've not watched any films, have we?
Don't.
It's
I don't think so.
always the movies that I forget about.
I have started listening to a new podcast.
Ooh.
And it's called Etymology. And I don't know if you'll have heard of these people before, but there's a website, an Instagram account, Twitter account called Mob Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And they do
mobbed, like ED,
like mob, and like when you join up or when you follow them or whatever, you are a member of the mob. And
you're now in the mafia.
The kitchen mafia. No, so it's basically it's a bunch of chefs, a bunch of cooks that they have cookbooks out, and it's one of the chefs that is regularly on the page, because they have some guest chefs that come on, and then they have their kind of more ones that are there all the time. Mm-hmm. But this guy's name is Jordan King, and he has started a podcast called Etymology, where sometimes he'll have his fellow chefs on it with him, and he'll have other people on it, and it's basically about the kind of history of food. So, like, where certain things come from, and that whenever you see his posts on the Instagram, because it's Instagram that I mainly see them, whenever you see his kind of posts or his kind of recipes, they always have that kind of background with them. Mm-hmm. So, like, chickpeas, that was one of the things that they were talking about on Etymology, and it was the fact that, and it's in his post as well, and that was one of the earliest foods that humans ate ever. And then to see how it's came from that, like 100,000 years ago, to how we treat chickpeas today with the dishes that we get. I mean, you put them in a curry dish, they make hummus, they make snacks, like, and it's, for me, because I'm a cook, it's really interesting, I'm really enjoying it, and Jordan Ezra King has a lovely voice to listen to.
Oh, that's good.
I was going to say, see, as soon as you said chickpeas, I was immediately thought, oh, I know that because of veganism. Like, yeah. I didn't know that.
So, like, all your vegan, like, mayonnaises and stuff, they're all made from, like, the aquafaba, which is the liquid that chickpeas sit in the tin. Mm-hmm. So rather than, like, obviously mayonnaise is usually based off of eggs, rather than that, it's based off aquafaba, and it makes the same consistency, it makes it exactly the same.
Bloody vegans making that popular. I mean, I do like see veganism now. I used to like bash it all the time, but I tried it when I was in London, and it's actually quite nice now. Like, you don't see it. You don't like the chicken nuggets and stuff, even though they call them chicken nuggets on the vegan restaurant menu. Like it's still a weird kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they would call it, like some nugget.
Chickenless.
Not chicken nugget.
Nugget.
Just a nugget. You don't know what's in it, but it's a nugget.
Just
tastes good.
Plant nuggets.
No, I think especially over the past couple of years, like, vegan food has taken a humongous step up, which is great. But there's still some things that they're lacking in a wee bit. Mainly the desserts.
I was going to say, right, do you use like noodles, like a kind of like Asian noodles and stuff like that?
Yes.
I like it.
I've like just started getting into them. I'm like totally.
Oh, Christopher, come round for dinner. I'll blow your mind.
I don't know why.
You should come for noodles. Courtney does amazing noodles, actually.
Homemade?
Yeah.
Ooh. Homemade noodles.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell.
We'll get you up at some point.
I'd definitely take you up on that. What? This might be sidetracked, but I mean, we can. This is what I've been watching. Have any of you's been watching the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial? Dun dun dun.
I've watched bits. I've
Yeah.
seen bits, just kind of online and stuff. Cause
Just the highlights.
just the best bits.
Just the goals. Score kicks and that.
Oh fuck! Are they good?
Why?
Left. No, that was it. I was just watching that. That's been entertaining.
yeah, I've seen. I think the whole media around it, like the fact that there was a Starbucks that had like a Team Amber, Team Johnny, like tip jar.
Yeah.
Oh no, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Places like, I don't think it might be actually Pretty Little Thing, but there's websites such as those that have like T-shirts.
Oh, they're making profits
And I'm
off
like,
it.
that's not appropriate.
That's an abuse trial. It's not a joke.
It's not like a
appropriate.
head on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the same argument that comes around all the time. That would never happen if the roles were reversed.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the stuff that's came out of it is quite disturbing. So it's
It's
on both sides. Like some of the, I mean, I love his creative text. Like some, like the text stuff he said. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
There's-
Like,
But there's a difference between sending text messages and actually doing something to a person.
I think.
yeah, yeah.
The same
definitely.
thing of like us, like how they always link video games and stuff to like actual real violence. There's a much bigger difference of going on your Xbox or going on your computer and playing COD than there is actually walking down a street and doing that to someone.
I think there's no innocent parties in any case like this. I think
No.
there's bad stuff being said
Yeah.
on either side. Like they're both weird celebrities that have done weird things to each other and other people over the years.
But her worse than him.
Yeah, I don't think she's a nice person,
She abused him.
and I think it has. Hopefully, it will put a big stop to her career. Whereas,
Oh,
As it has to his.
because it has to his, yeah, exactly, and
And he didn't
that was without
actually do anything.
any proof, anything proven in court, anything anything even discovered in court, like as before any of that, and all of a sudden they dropped him for Harry Potter,
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts.
because
Yeah.
like I'm sure, like I don't know, but the only company that's kind of stayed with him is the Savage
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
the Adore. Jador. Oh, there you go. I got them then. I got
There
them.
we go.
I failed
That's
French.
your
I
eyes.
failed. I was in Access 3, boys. Oh, God.
Jimmy Pell and all that.
That's what it was. Oh, it was fucking
Oh
chaos. Oh,
Right.
but-
Anyway.
Shall we move on to the topic now that
Move
we're
on
done
to
with
the
food
topic.
and trials? Let's talk about something comic book based. Yeah, so I'm just going to say up top, if you are wanting to go into Doctor Strange completely blind, you should probably switch off now. I'm not saying we're going to get anything right because we don't really have a clue what we're talking about,
No.
but there's a chance that we will stumble into something that might happen. And if you go and see the film and then turn around and be like, "Yeah, they spoiled it," like just know that's
No,
what
we
might
didn't.
happen.
No,
Because
we
we've not
didn't.
seen it.
Not yet.
So yeah, what do you think will happen in Doctor Strange? What do you think will be the big thing that happens? What do you think will be the big twist? Do you think Andy Major's going to die? Do you think Andy Major's going to get introduced? What sort of cameos are we going to see? What
I
do you
think
expect?
you're going to see Dr. Richards, and I think that could be connected to why the guy left, the director left, because maybe that's not why he wanted to start the Fantastic Four series.
That's
That is-
interesting.
That is literally just off the top of my head after that
I like
topic we took.
Right. So let's start there then. So in the trailer, you see the council, which is like 6
The
people.
Illuminati, yeah.
One of them.
Beyonce's in it.
No, that's what they're called in the comics. Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
That's not a joke. I know it sounds like one, but it's not.
Like, what?
That's not a joke. It's serious.
So we
We're
know
getting Hoven B? Oh my god.
we know that Professor X is on it. Patrick Stewart. We know that what's his name? Baron Mordo, Chiwetel Ejiofor,
Uh-huh.
with the long hair.
Thank you.
He's on it. Although it's probably a different version of him. I
Doctor
think.
Strange is going to be in it.
He's not on the council though.
Oh, I
He's
thought you
like-
just meant in the movie.
No, I mean on the council. Yeah, remember the scene where he's
He's
got
the
handcuffs
release
on and the Ultron bots are taken upstairs to like the people, right? So we're trying to guess who they are.
What if he is in it? on it.
It could be.
It's
It could
the
be a
bad
different.
one.
It could be a
Doctor
different. One.
Strange, a bad Doctor Strange. Could be.
And he could be like acting like he's the good one.
Like the Councillor Rex and Rick and Morty. I don't know. I don't. Rick and Morty generally already did that joke. No, I don't think so. So here's mine. So I think we know those two. We also got a glimpse of Peggy Carter's shield in one.
Yeah, we did
trailers.
on one of the trailers. Yep.
So I think she's one of them. I think Chris is right. I can see. I don't know. I'm to and fro on whether or not Mr. Fantastic will be there. John Krasinski. I think he will because it would be a good cameo, and it's we all kind of know that he's going to play it at some point.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, Chris, I wonder if this is how they'll choose to introduce him because we've not seen any version of that character in this series of films so far. So the first time we see him is on a multiverse council, which just seems a bit, I don't know, like before we even get any sort of tease.
It's a bit of bombshell though, isn't it?
It is, but most people won't expect it, I guess. But I think that I think what you said about John Watts leaving the movie, that's interesting. That's an interesting correlation. You might be right.
It's just a wee kid, because I mean, you could the way he could be directing it is that it's not like that. We're not creating an aftermath. We're creating a separate movie, but it will need to be connected somehow.
Yeah.
What I wonder is when they're going to do the Fantastic Four film, will that if he is in this movie, will that Reed Richards be the same one that we see in the Fantastic Four film, or will that be a?
Is that John Krasinski?
Is it the same actor? Is it still John Krasinski, or is it a different actor?
Is it still the Welsh guy?
Owen Griffith.
From the first
one?
one?
Did hear a rumour that he was going to be in
Yeah, I heard that as well. But I don't know if it's completely true.
So what's asked 3, right? I said?
Yeah.
No, 4. Carter, Baron Mordo.
So, is Carter Jenks, she's on the council?
I think so, aye.
Has it always been Captain America on the council? Or like a version of it?
But I think it is because we've not watched all of What If. But I think in What If, she kind of bounces between dimensions. And then by, I think, the last one, they all kind of team, from what I can gather, they all kind of team up at the end as a kind of like multiverse Avengers type. And she's like the one that brings them all together. So I think because of that, I think that's canon. Like, at the time we were like, is What If like canon or not? But I think it is, and I think that's the same version we're now seeing. And because she's done all that multiverse shit, well, we need to watch that before next week. Because she's done all of that, she's now on the council. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what was going to qualify.
Kang the Conqueror, do you think he'll be on it, or is he different?
I don't know. So there's two spots left, right? One of them is some sort of Captain Marvel variant. I think it's Monica Rambeau. Is the last one either Kang, as you're saying, or is it Tom Cruise Iron Man?
Oh, it better be Tom Cruise. Oh, that would be.
I think it would be
fucking hilarious.
You see the alternate Tom Cruise. I mean, there's Ultron bots there, so we know that Ultron bots in this universe are made by Tony Stark. So why would there be Ultron bots guiding them up the stairs if there wasn't some version of Tony Stark there? Because Tom Cruise was meant to be Tony Stark originally, it would be a nice kind of full circle moment.
Do you think it would be actual Ultron?
Could be.
Like the actual.
Well, we've seen a variation of Ultron in What If. I think we've seen another version of him, so I don't know if they would do that again so soon.
You don't think there's going to be a Vision?
I was going to say that. Jake Vision is in there. Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany could be in the movie at some point, but I don't think it get anything to do with the council. I think there might be a point where Wanda's went too far, because I think from the trailers, what I can gather, she goes in, she attacks the council. I think Doctor Strange is going to be getting his trial, and she's going to walk in, and I think she's going to like kill somebody, like maybe Professor X or like somebody big. And then again, for the glimpses of the trailer, you can see the Captain Marvel character fighting with her. And I reckon I think Wanda's going to go off the deep end. This maybe like kill some big characters, and then I think that's maybe what kind of brings her back at the end, as if White Vision shows up and kind of brings.
Who do you think she's going to kill?
Sorry,
who do you think she's going to kill? Do you think she's going to be the big baddie in this?
Yeah,
she has confirmed to be. Really?
I can see her killing. I think this version of Mordo, which is Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, I think he's a different. I think he's a variant for what we've seen in the first movie, and I think this version's going to die as well. I think Professor X might die, because I think Patrick Stewart's just coming back for the one movie. I don't think he's coming back indefinitely.
Oh, I don't think he would come back for.
So I
He's
think
getting a bit old.
he'll just make a cameo and get killed off. I think this version of Murdo will get killed off, and I can see her killing Christine Palmer, Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
That was going to be one of my predictions, is that Rachel McAdams dies.
Well, again, we really need to watch What If because I know more about it than you. There's an episode of What If where Christine Palmer dies, and it's all about Doctor Strange searching the multiverse for a version of her that doesn't die. But it turns out there's certain things in time that have to happen. Like they call them like pinnacle points or something, and one of them is her dying. So no matter what he does, he can't save her in any universe. So I don't know. I can see.
That's sad.
But again, I think this version that you see in the trailer of Rachel McAdams' character, which is in that lab, and they've got people in cells. I think that's a different version. I don't think that's the version you see in the first Doctor Strange. I think that's a different multiverse version. So I think a version of Christine Palmer will die.
I thought, purely based on a meme that I saw,
Okay.
that there might be a possibility that Wanda dies.
I don't.
Could be a
Or
version
of Wanda dies, because it showed you Doctor Strange rocking up to Iron Man and being like, "We need your help," and then it showed you the exact same scene, and he walks up to Wanda as he does in the trailer and says, "We need your help."
Yeah, but
At the end of that movie, Iron Man died.
yeah, sure. In that scene in the movie though, in Doctor Strange, I think he goes up to her in this garden, and you think that she's like,
she's alright.
She's alright, and then I think there's another scene where she looks at him, she goes, what does she say? She's like, "You mess with the multiverse, nothing happens. I do it, everyone gets mad. That doesn't seem fair."
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the exact quote, but something along those lines.
Yeah.
He's wearing the same clothes in that scene, and it's a kind of similar environment, but it's all like red and dark.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same scene. I think she's not really good and nice in a nice garden. I think that's a projection.
She's in another world similar to the Hex one before.
Yeah.
She's creating her own world.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Villain Wanda.
And I think when you see her like sitting and she's like going through the book and she's all like crowny and all that, I think she's looking for a universe like what you just said about Rachel McAdams. I think she's looking for a universe where her kids don't die and Vision don't die.
Well, that's another thing that was proven in one of the trailers. The kids are in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene where you see them in the house with WandaVision, and
she touches their faces and she's crying.
And the waves in the background.
Do you think Harkness is coming back? Do you think Doctor Strange needs to get help and get Agatha?
I think Agatha's going to come back later because I think they've confirmed that she's getting her own series.
I think that
TV series.
The post-credit scene.
Yeah, maybe in a post-credit scene.
Because I was thinking, do you think is Doctor Strange the same power as Wanda, or do you think he would need help to kind of fight her?
I think Wanda's more powerful than Strange.
Yeah.
Wanda's like, well, it's kind of different because you're talking about the movie version, but in the comics, Wanda's like one of the most powerful beings. Like she's up there with like the Phoenix and stuff. Like she's insane. So.
And it was the Phoenix that killed
Professor X.
Patrick Stewart the first time. Yeah,
that's true.
Poor fucking Patrick Stewart, man, keeps getting obliterated.
But I think she looks terrifying. Like that shot of her covered in blood when she's standing in the corners and that weird thing with her hand and her eyes are glowing. She looks terrifying, man.
That's amazing.
So, do you think that's like the end of the kind of Wanda? Do you think that's like her finished?
You're saying that she might die, and I can kind of see that because maybe they are going to take her to a place where she is either she's irredeemable or she's redeemed at the last minute with Vision, and you're kind of like feeling a bit sorry for her, and then it would be really tragic if they killed her off.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can see them.
I think she would be happy. I think she's looking for a universe where he doesn't die and her kids don't die. But like you just said about Rachel McAdams, there's no such thing because the pinnacle in time.
Yeah. And
I think when however Vision comes to her, she's like, "No, I'm happy to go because if I go, I'll be with you." And she's happy to move on to wherever he is.
I think that she'll stick around.
I hope she does because I love the character.
I'm not saying you're incorrect in the sense that a version of Wanda might die.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think Elizabeth Olsen's leaving the MCU.
No.
I don't see that.
No.
She's too
That's
big.
what I said.
She's too big, and it's too big a paycheck, and she's became a central part of the universe.
Yeah.
And she's in loads of different movies, and the way they've evolved her character, like I don't see her leaving the MCU. Maybe a version of Wanda might die, but I don't think it'll be the last we see of Wanda Maximoff overall.
Do you think there's a way, like, if in some way, like, Doctor Strange sees all these people, like, sees all different versions of himself, and he's like, at the end of it, he's like, we all need to come together to fight Wanda. So you'll have like 7 Doctor Stranges, and they're all coming together to fight her to get a container. That would be fucking cool.
There's a. I read something about. I don't know if it was a plot leak or if it was just somebody speculating, but I read something that. So see the Doctor Strange that you see in the trailer, and he's got the white bits at the side, and he's got the ponytail. And it's at the start, I think, where America Chavez, who's the chick that opens the star portals, I think she is like in another dimension, getting chased by the thing that's all like ribbons. It's like a big ribbon monster. I think he saves her, and I think the ribbon monster might kill him, and then that version, I think see the version you see at the end of the trailer that's like a zombie, and like his skin's all peeling off. I think it's kind of dark, but this is what I read, that could be his body that our Doctor Strange goes into. Because it's in our dimension or something, he like goes into his mind and resurrects his dead body.
Nice.
And that's why he's like a zombie. I don't know, that could be made up crap, but that's what I read.
That's deep.
And then also it's a Sam Raimi movie, so that seems very Sam Raimi. Do you know what I mean? Like Evil Dead and stuff, and jumping in another person's zombie body. Like,
and Andrew Lincoln turns it.
That just sounds like a
whole
Sam Raimi script. Talk about Sam Raimi, do we think we're going to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
In this?
Oh, imagine like a wee window or something. You just see him like getting like putting his suit on or something.
I think we will.
Yeah.
I think so. See the scene where
I think it's a bit soon.
I think the scene where you see the trailer where him and I think it's America Chavez. It's with him. Maybe it's Wanda. He's with a female character anyway, and they're both like flying through the air, and his face is turning into bricks, like squares, and they're also crashing through different dimensions. I think that's when we'll get all our cameos. We might even see like a Wolverine in the background. We'll see like a Spider-Man. We'll see. We might see Vision. If Vision shows up, I think that's where he'll show up. Like we'll see stuff like that.
Do you think they take a chance on that? Like, see, like when you were saying Wolverine, do you think they'll take a chance to do other versions so they could get Daniel Radcliffe as?
What? Yeah. They either could do that and show you the actor, or they could do it where like he's wearing his mask and he's almost getting his back to you, and you can just recognise the character. It might just be a stuntman. Do you know what I mean? Like you might not even go as obvious as that.
Kind of like what they did when all of the other characters were coming through in Spider-Man.
Yeah, you just saw the outline.
The outline in it.
Yeah, exactly. I can see them being quite vague about it. But it'd be cool to see, like, as you think, to see like what could have been like other actors and stuff. Yeah,
just to kind of see him. Like,
but that's the one kind of. I don't even know if I would say it's an issue with the John Krasinski thing, but I don't know if I want to see alternate versions of Reed Richards Wolverine before I've seen
the actual one. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know
the MCU one.
Yeah. I am kind of strange.
Well, technically now, like see, cause Patrick Stewart's in it, right?
Yeah.
And Professor X is the same.
I think that's okay because even though we've not seen Professor X in the MCU, we've seen Patrick Stewart playing Professor X in the Fox movies. So I think that's okay. And they've also kind of confirmed.
They're linked then.
Well, they've kind of confirmed. We know that the Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi trilogy, did happen in the MCU, just in another universe. So did the Andrew Garfield movies. Like we know that now. So why not the X-Men films? They also happened in another universe, you know. So
why not? Yeah.
And this is him just came across for that universe to be on this council. Like,
fucking, it totally changes their perspective. You go and watch them, you go, fuck, he's traveling dimension and doesn't tell anything. He's just.
What's he up to?
I know he's just wheeling about.
Just transdimensional old English guy. Just what's he up to?
Like who could like take over that? Like I know like James McAvoy tried to do it. Is that his name, James McAvoy?
Yeah. So like, James McAvoy did get asked if he was going to be in this, and he just went no. That was all he said. He said no. So he didn't even say enough to be like Andrew Garfield, where he was like, "I'm not in it. It's a Photoshop." Like he didn't go that far. He just said no, and then he might not be in it. So I don't know. But there's no reason they couldn't be. Like, if they're going to do that, then now's the time to do it, I guess, with all these. That's how I think they'll just do as many cameos as they can, because when else are you going to get to do it? Do you know what I mean? So
It could be like what you're saying, like setting up all that stuff now. So they'll do the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, could potentially new one. The Tobey Maguire one could potentially like setting up all the movies that people want to see.
I don't think
You know?
I don't know, but I don't think we'll see Garfield in Doctor Strange. I think if
Really?
it's Spider-Man, I think it will be Tobey.
The one he's
because it's a Sam Raimi film.
Mm.
I think it will be Tobey. So yeah, I'm pretty convinced we'll see him, and I'm pretty
Dark suit
convinced.
or
What? Sorry.
dark suit Tobey?
Nah, classic suit. Classic suit. So
you can see him like going down the hallway and you know.
No, but so so that the audience immediately goes, like, folk that aren't as into them that immediately go, oh, they're Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? Just
Spider-Man.
I don't think they'll confuse people with a dark suit. I think it will just be the classic.
Mm.
You might not even see him out of the suit. He might have the mask on, and Toby's just done the voice for home. Do you know what I mean? There's a stuntman in the suit. Like, they might not even actually have Peter Parker, and it might just be Spider-Man. But I at least think we'll see that. I think we'll at least see him swinging by at one point. So yeah, I think he'll be in it. I think Vision will be in it in some form. I don't know about that. Maybe they'll leave Vision and just bring him back later. I don't think they'll kill off Elizabeth Olsen within the MCU. I think you might kill off a version of Wanda, but I don't think she's leaving the MCU.
Mm.
What I'm quite excited about is, although we can kind of like put together a lot of the first maybe 3/4 of the movie, like John Krasinski probably being in it, and who's going to be in that council and whatever. I don't know how it's going to end. Like, nobody really know where they're going to go for here. I think that's the most exciting part about it. Like, Courtney was mentioning the post-credit scene earlier. I have no idea what the post-credit scene could even be. Like,
I think that because that could potentially just open the movie, and he's doing everything you see the first 20 half hour in all the trailers. And you've got an hour left to what you don't know what the fuck happens.
I also wonder if they'll bookend the multiverse thing, because we've had Loki. I don't know. I
don't know.
I think there's a certain point you can go to as like a writer before it becomes too
wacky.
1, too confusing to write, and two for the audience, too confusing to follow, and 3, they'll just start making mistakes. Like, there'll be inconsistent things because you get different writers working on different films with different multiverses. Like, I don't know. I think there's a point where they'll bring it back in, and I wonder. So they've had Loki, they've had No Way Home, and now they've had this. That's their kind of multiverse trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a famous comic that I have somewhere, but I don't know. I'm not pulling it out. But a famous comic called House of M, where it's kind of like WandaVision.
Yep, I've heard of that one.
Everything goes wrong for Wanda, and she builds this whole universe in her mind where her and her family are like a royal family. So Magneto's the king.
Like,
her and what's her brother called? What's Quicksilver? What's his name?
Quicksilver.
What is it? Pietro. Her and Pietro are like the prince and princess. And
that's the question. Do you think Thingy's going to be back?
We'll see either Aaron Paul or Evan Peters.
And then my other question was going to be: do you think we'll see any other X-Men?
I was going to say, because that's the introduction of mutants with him.
Well, we see Deadpool.
Well, that's where I was leading, because
we see Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool's really closely linked with the X-Men. So are they going to show some X-Men so that they can introduce Deadpool into an Avengers film?
Could do.
And get that ball, because I feel like they're desperate to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is desperate as well.
So, I mean, anyone would be, but
yeah.
Is that how they're going to get that ball rolling? Are they going to introduce...
I really don't know.
Like
they could do.
The wee lassie and the big Iron guy.
Colossus and Teenage Warhead. Yeah, they could do. I do also wonder, like, they themselves have said this is going to be much bigger than No Way Home in terms of cameos and twists. So they've really hyped it up. But you do also need to consider this is just, maybe, see, even if it's 3 hours, it's still a 3 hour movie. You still need to have like a story arc. You never go
I hope it's not me.
So it's like, how much do you put in? Spider-Man did such a good job of that, because that's something I was kind of worried about. Spider-Man was like, well, this be a mess because of how many villains and how many different. But it didn't. It was paced well, it all worked well, it was written well. So, and I do trust Sam Raimi, and I trust just Marvel films in general at this point, because it is like a formula. There's like a committee, and there's all these things I have to go through, like, for it to make sense and whatever. But
it's so weird that it's been 6. Has it been 6 years? When did that? 6 years, and it's just a sequel.
Has it been 6 years since the first Doctor Strange?
Fuck, when did it come out? I think it was like 2006.
Yes. What was I saying about House of M? So in House of M, right, Magneto's a king, and her and Pietro are like princess and whatever, but it's all fabricated. And Professor X has to go into her mind to like tell her, Wanda, this is fake. Your kids are gone. Because I think she's also got kids in that universe, and it's very like it's kind of like the WandaVision show.
Well, that's what they done. They basically done
Maybe
that
that's
with.
why she kills him.
Could be.
They done that with X-Men 3, didn't they? That's basically just stole that and replaced.
What Professor X dies in the comics, so when Cyclops kills him in the Avengers vs X-Men book. But anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
He's possessed by the Phoenix Force. That's why it's Cyclops.
Carry on.
Anyway, yeah. So, at the end of House of M, the big twist at the end of that book is Wanda says no more mutants, and it basically wipes out all mutants from reality. It's kind of like the snap. Like, all the mutants, they either die, disappear, or they lose their powers. Some of them are still around, they just have no powers. But she basically gets rid of like mutants. I wonder if this movie's going to end with her saying no more multiverse.
Or bring
that
mutants
closes the
in.
multiverse. Because she's one of the only characters powerful enough to do that. I think that could be quite a good way to just say, right.
Or can she shut it? Can she stop?
I don't know. Like,
why not?
I don't like the films, but I guess why not? I think that'd be a good way to say, like, we've had Tobey Spider-Man, Andrew Spider-Man. We've kind of revived them, and they're going to go on to have their own films, like Spider-Man 4, and probably Andrew Garfield's going to fight Venom, which is annoying, but whatever they're doing with them, right? And then we've also had Professor X in this universe, therefore the Fox universe has happened, but it's all behind us now, and then the multiverse closes, and all that matters going forward is the MCU. Because I think that's the other thing I think they need to be careful of is you don't want to, like, Sony own Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Disney have nothing to do with those, right? They only lent the character for No Way Home, so they'll make no money off of Spider-Man 4. But if Spider-Man 4 was to come out, was to be announced tomorrow, it would be huge.
Yeah.
Disney don't want another franchise like that taken away from theirs. So that's why I can see them closing it and being like, Spider-Man 4 might happen, but it won't matter to the MCU. Do you know what I mean? Like, just separate them all and kind of distancing themselves and focusing just on their universe. I don't know. I can see that being the big twist at the end is no more multiverse, and then everything closes.
So
no more.
This is slightly off topic. It's not a lot off topic, but I find it interesting. I didn't realise how much of a hold Sony still have over Marvel as a whole.
Okay.
So apparently there is a Marvel world in Disneyland Paris and in Disneyland California. But Florida can't have a Marvel world within Disney because there's like a weird licensing thing happening in Florida that Sony still own them. So therefore Disney won't get a park in their biggest park. They won't get a Marvel park there. Yeah. If they were to do a Marvel park, it would have to be in somewhere like MGM or Universal.
I think the Disney Sony deal only exists in certain states.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. I think in certain states.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think the contract actually divides it up state by state. Yeah. It's weird. It's nuts.
And I mean, that's a massive, like, kick in the balls.
Cash. It's such a cash flow into it.
To, like, not let them have it and, like, in their biggest park. Like,
one of
the really happiest place on earth if you can't have Iron Man, is it?
Kids are there going like, where's Iron Man? I'm sorry, but there's a licensing deal.
Sorry,
the corporation suits won't allow it. Like, what? What are you talking about?
But here's Moana.
Yeah, here's some shit animated film.
No.
Yeah.
Moana's genius.
Okay. Are we all wrapped up with Doctor Strange? How are you feeling about, like, what we said about who got killed off and the twists and stuff? How likely do you think? I think we said it's like, that's definitely not going to happen or anything. You're like, that's definitely going to happen. I can definitely see John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic. See, the more we talk about it, the more I'm kind of envisioning him sitting in one of the chairs of that council. I can see that.
Could Doctor Strange be killed?
I was going to say that, but then I was scared he was going to shout at me.
So again, what? Again, I think versions of Doctor Strange will die. I think the version we see at the start with the ponytail, if that leaks true about him being the zombie version we see later, he's also going to die. So again, I think versions of the character will die, but like you're saying, Chrissy, this is technically only his second film. Although he's been in Avengers movies, this is technically his only second solo film. I don't see this being Benedict Cumberbatch's last Doctor Strange film. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's been playing the probably character for about 10 years, maybe.
Yeah. But was there not a thing though? I read a thing somewhere that said like he's going to be like the new Tony Stark going forward.
See what I
Like
thought.
if they do another
No
team
Tom
up movie-
Holland. No Tom Holland.
No. Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. It's going to be like the centre of the MCU going forward. Was what I heard.
Fuck.
So
I literally just I pressed on a trailer for that. That's the fucking noise. Oh.
again, this is like we don't know if any of this is true.
Wait,
but
hold the phone. I
Hold
never
it
saw that. See the Doctor, Patrick Stewart's wheelchair.
yeah,
It's from the animated series.
yeah, it's a yellow wheelchair from the animated series.
Oh my fuck! That's fucking amazing.
Can we stop holding our phones now?
I don't know why we're holding the phone. Alright, did I say hold the phone?
The phone?
No, sorry.
Can you hang out to it?
I was like so excited there. Oh,
Yeah, it's a yellow hover chair that he's got in the animated series.
Cool.
Yeah,
oh,
that's our shout to so.
that was
No.
beautiful. See if they play the song when he comes on.
I'll show you it later, right?
That's like, it's like somebody phones him or something, and that's his like theme tune.
That's that's like the alarm noise when water breaks in. That's like, oh my god, the alarm!
Such a cheery alarm.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
that's nostalgic, isn't it?
Oh no, that's cheered me up. That was. Oh, I'm so excited for this now. Series wheelchair.
Regardless, I think it's going to be a blast, and we'll be here to talk
So,
about it next week.
do you think this is
Thanks,
going to be
guys.
the mega element? This is a pinnacle of starting up something new. This Doctor Strange movie. So, like, see, you would need to watch this to understand what happens next in the next stage in
See,
the MCU.
I agree, but I also think the MCU is at a point now where that just applies across the board. Like, see if you've not seen everything up till now, you're probably not going to understand Doctor Strange 2.
No,
So
can I go in this blind?
you just can't have seen them all at this point.
Just be like
Aye, what the fuck?
Who's this baldy guy? He's not been in any of these films.
Oh God, Captain Picard.
Are you seeing it this week, Chris? Have you got tickets?
I've not got tickets, no, but I might see it in other ways. I don't know.
we don't know what you're talking about.
We don't know.
We're going to see it Thursday night. We've got tickets booked.
In the
Right
cinema.
on when it comes out.
Yeah.
Don't-
Yeah, but we're not going to the midnight show. And midnight show is on Wednesday. But
Oh, right,
we're
okay.
going to like 6 o'clock on Thursday night after work. But
Is
yeah.
it the Odeon, the comfy seats one?
yeah, it's a key I think I booked. No, is it the View? I think it was the View I booked.
Both have
But they both
dynamite
have the good
nachos.
seats. Yeah.
Oh, and in
I seen it.
Phoenix.
Yeah. Sure, it's in there.
That's a good cinema.
That's pretty good.
Nachos or
is it-
dynamite.
Is it small? I
No,
thought it would
it's
be
decent
small.
size. It's pretty decent screens. But the films are really cheap. See, for a film ticket, it's cheaper than like Odeon and stuff. But see, the munchies, oh my god. We bought like 2 hot dogs and a popcorn and a nachos, which that's quite a lot. But we bought
That's
like,
a lot of food.
well,
Not a
maybe
lot,
it wasn't
yeah.
all that. Maybe it was like a hot dog each and like a nachos between us, and it was like 40 quid.
That's not true.
I was like, what? Well, maybe an ice blast each.
That's still not true.
But we're one time.
That's probably like the Odeon prices. It's like,
I don't know. I think it's dear Odeon for its munchies. But anyway, we're talking
Oh,
niche cinemas in Glasgow
no.
now. Listens to America, we'll be talking about. Nobody listens to this anyway.
Let's go. The View have vegan nachos.
But yeah, we will be back to talk about Doctor Strange next week. If Chris is here, it means he's seen it. If he's not, he might not have seen it. But we will have seen it. Me and Courtney will at least be here.
Definitely.
I would imagine Jared will see
Oh,
it.
Jared
Marvel
the nerd would have definitely.
Um,
have his
Pretty sure
pulse
it's
on.
not already seen it.
He probably has, but
he has.
Probably has.
Those Irish have their ways. He's moved to the Philippines.
He's broken. That's what he's doing now. He's broken. He's broken
Yeah,
out of some place.
Because Germany's not here. You know what, to be fair, it's no fault for going out protesting. So
Drink Guinness, man.
on that note, apologies to all of our listeners in Ireland. If that come across as insensitive, we very much appreciate you, and we all have Irish blood in us, so it's fine.
Yes, well,
Cultural appropriation to
Some
Yes.
more than others, but okay.
so yeah, thanks for joining us for episode 6 of the Pop Shop podcast. Check that.
oh, you've got that one. You've got
Although I have realised, this is 6, but do you know what I realised about the last episode?
You just
That-
that as episode
This
six?
might this might have changed by the time you see this, because I might remember it going and change it. So in the podcast, I introduced it as episode 5. When I was editing it, I put episode 5 at the bottom, so that was all good. But see in the description on YouTube, I put in the 6th episode of the It's called Pop Shop Podcast. We talk about. I was like, shit. 2 days ago when I was in work, I was sharing the podcast, so I like opened the video on YouTube and I scrolled at the description and I was like, shit. I was in work, so I couldn't even change it, and I was like, do you know what? No one cares. No one's commenting. No one reads the description, obviously. Who gives a shit? Like, I just priorities.
I think we should keep it.
Yeah, I might just keep it now because I'm referenced it. It's like an inside joke.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put in the description of this one in episode 7.
Let's fuck the algorithm. Let's try and get.
Let's see if we can somehow break through by doing weird shit with episode numbers.
Doctor Strange comes up.
I was going to say Doctor
That's
Strange.
wrong.
The multiverse closes on us.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah.
Well, we're tired.
Yeah, we are tired and we're also hungry. That is another episode of Pop Shop Podcast in the bag. If you enjoyed, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Listen to us on either audio or video. We've got a shit ton of back episodes at this point. We've got reviews for the Batman, reviews for Spider-Man No Way Home. We've got other episodes where we talked about 2021 and gaming stuff, and there's all sorts. So, if you enjoyed that, dig into that. Check out our podcast, mine and Courtney's podcast, for our consideration. Yeah, I will be back next week to talk about something else.
Something else.
The topic's going to be Doctor Strange, but we don't know what news is going to happen. So something.
That you're still going to have forgotten what you watched this week.
Yeah, there's a guarantee for next week, right? Ezra Miller will have been arrested again. He still don't have a clue what they're doing with their movies. Amber Heard's still a piece of shit, and I don't know what I've watched that week. There you go. Those are
they're going to be consistent.
This podcast.
That's
guarantee for next week. And yeah, I don't know. Like we said, we don't know who'll be on, but not even sure what episode number it will be. But we'll be here.
We'll be here.
Yeah, thanks for listening today, folks. All the best. Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
See y'all.
Thanks, Courtney, for joining us.
Bye.
Catch you.
Ta-da.